So what we're going to do in this session, we're going to step through understanding the milestone types. We're going to talk about system-generated notifications, where we can find our milestones, who can access, edit, and submit them, as well as understanding the New South Wales progress reporting, so single form for HREC and all New South Wales and now TAS sites, understanding project statuses, so what's the difference between an annual or a final report, what to do if we are requested for more information, and understanding system automation and streamlining when ethics does exist in REGIS. There are a couple of milestone types in the system. I keep saying milestones. In REGIS, milestones refer to external HREC progress reporting, certificates of currency, or first patient in. So we can see a couple of those on the screen here. So those are just the milestones I refer to throughout the session. I will try and remember to say external HREC progress report or certificate of currency, etc. So the principal investigator and anyone with edit and submit access can create and complete milestones, but ultimately it is up to the PI or delegate with submit access to submit them. So there are a couple of places to find your milestones. The easiest, quickest, best way to find your milestone, guys, is via your top 5 milestones due. Just to the right of the screen here, it will list your most overdue, due, or pending milestones. So again, milestones referring to external HREC progress reports for governance, certificates of currency, or first patient in. You can see the study it is associated with. So I have ethics mixed in here, guys, because I have access to ethics as well, but we've got our site identifiers here as well as ethics if you have access to ethics. You can see the type of milestone. It's pending because it hasn't been submitted, so that status is fine. You can see the due date and how overdue if it is overdue. So mine are terrible, they're quite overdue. It'll show you 5 at a time. So the most overdue, due or pending will be in this list. Once you complete one, it will pop out of this list and the next overdue, due or pending milestone will then pop into the list. So again, this is the best and easiest way to access your milestone, because what happens is, I will show you an example. If I just go ahead and say I'm going to click on the certificate of currency, it's going to take me directly into the milestone to complete it. So I don't have to kind of click through to find my project. As you can see, I've gone straight into the milestone to complete it. We're going to have a look at this later. I've already started playing with this data, but what we're going to go through first is our progress reporting. So again, yep, don't want to keep any changes there. And just a tip, guys, if you're not sure what I did just navigate back to my homepage using the Research Ethics Governance Information System header here in the top left-hand corner. That just will always take you back to your homepage, no matter where you are. So again, this is the best way to get through your milestones, guys, because it's going to show you, like you can see here, the most overdue milestone first. The other way, which I have to show you because I created my milestone for training and it's not yet due, it's going to be through the project. So again, best way to go, but I will show you another way to locate milestones. So I'm going to locate my study. I've recently worked on it, so I can see it right here. This is the one I want. If I couldn't see it here in my top 5 projects, because this is a rotating list of studies that I've recently worked on, I could select view all projects at the top of the screen. They'll show me a full list of my studies currently in the system, but I can see it here. So I'm just going to click on that project identifier, and it's going to take me to the overall project details for the study. From here, and I'll just expand this because I like to have this all the way across the screen, so I'm just using the collapse and expand option here. I would go ahead and click on the project identifier for this study, so I'm after this one here. From here, I want to complete a milestone, so I go to milestone header at the top of the screen here, and that takes me to my milestones that are due, pending, or overdue. So I've got a couple of milestones here. I can see that on that previous page, my ethics is external to REGIS in this instance. If your ethics exists in REGIS, guys, you are not completing the progress report. I just want to make that really nice and clear. That goes through ethics in REGIS, and once it is approved, it is automatically shared with your related sites in the system. So just nice and clear there. Ethics is in REGIS. You are not completing an external HREC progress report milestone. What we can see here is I've got my milestones. This one has been submitted. That one's pending, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it's nice and easy. I'm clicking on the title. It's going to take me directly in there. Okay, so what we can see here is I have my study identifier should be able to see as well is my study type. Study types are very important in REGIS, and that's because the system uses smart form technology. And what I mean by that is that questions and fields will either generate or be hidden based on the study type. So clinical trials are very prevalent for having a bit more information or questions asked for those studies. Below that, what we can see is we have the option to submit this report for all REGIS sites. What that means is the lead site can submit the external HREC progress report on behalf of all sites in REGIS. I select yes. I'm going to be reporting for any authorized site associated with this study in the system. If I select no, I will choose the site. So I've got 2 sites currently in the system, and I would say I'm only reporting for my site. This is an option, guys. And if you do that, obviously this site has not been reported for. They would then need to report as well. So if that's not what you want to do and you want to go, yep, the report's for all REGIS sites, I'll show you what that looks like on the next page as well. Here we have annual or final report. What kind of report are we submitting? So an annual report, as we can see here, it's indicated by it's not yet commenced, it's currently in progress, or it's completed, no longer recruiting. So it's not finished yet. A final report is either abandoned, terminated, or closed post-analysis. So we only have 6 kind of statuses associated with our progress reporting in the system. Just choose the one that most closely matches what you're after, what you're trying to describe as the status. You will notice though, we have little question marks next to certain questions here that will provide you with question-specific information and guidance. And if you need a little bit more guidance, we've got help icons at the top of the screen as well. I'm going to go ahead and say, look, it's in progress. I'm going to continue on with this study. If I were to say, look, no, it's a final report here, it's just indicating when it does get submitted to your RGO that this is the final report for the study. It's going to be closing out. So I'll just keep mine as in progress. You can see we've got definitions below as well. Moving through, what we've got here is New South Wales site recruitment data samples. What this is if we're submitting the report on behalf of all sites in the system and there are recruitment of participants involved, okay, we're going to provide the information for all of the authorized sites in the system. So you can see I have 2 sites currently authorized in REGIS. If I had indicated I'm only submitting the report on behalf of my site, I would only just have my site listed here. Okay, really nice and simple there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop some data in here. Most likely very different to what you're actually recruiting. So I'm just popping data in here because these are mandatory fields. We've got to make sure we finish all these up here. Depending on your responses, you might also get questions asked. Again, smart form technology knows when further things need to be provided from you. What we've got here is an ethics document upload section. So as our ethics is external to REGIS, there is no way that our research site in REGIS can see the ethics approval or the progress report. So what we need to do is upload that document. What we can do, add document, and the document type, we do have a preferred document type here for you to make it easier, and that is milestone report. And you can upload either an email or a zip file with the HREC approved progress report, as well as the approval notification. So you can actually just upload one file, so you're not having to list every document there. To the side, I've got my little zip file. I'm just going to pop that in there. There we go. So really nice and easy. Do not upload any documents that need amending here, okay? So what we're going to do is go next. It's not a big form, guys. What we're doing pretty much is providing the site recruitment data and sample numbers. We're providing the ethics approval, and what we're going to do, we're going to submit this. Just to touch on the buttons at the top of the screen, preview will download a clean copy of your milestone. So your progress report. Validate is not a button you guys will see, that's a REGIS team button. And save just saves your progress. If I didn't have submit permissions, I would hit save at this point. I'd notify the principal investigator or delegate that has submit access. It's ready for their submission. Just to the left of the screen here, this is just indicating who is submitting this milestone. So what I'm doing here, I'm just submitting it. Okay, it is going to go to my research office for review. But what happens is, and I'll just show you, We've got just a simple acknowledgement of receipt for our progress report. So this just lets us know that it's been submitted, it's gone to the research governance officers, and Tassie, I do know we're going to include you in that wording here. So for the moment, it's New South Wales ACT. So the research governance officers have been notified and will only contact you if they have or require more information. Otherwise, consider this the RGO notification. So this is noting from your research governance office at this point, and this is just letting you know it has been received to them. If they do not have any further questions, fantastic, it is achieved. You have done what you need to do for this particular external HREC progress report. What happens is if more information is required, you get a system notification, and I have one handy here. So what we have here is it is sent to the principal investigator and any admin contacts in the system. It advises you of the study, what's required, so more information, it's been reviewed, it needs a bit more information in ABC. We have some guidance information here. It does say governance amendment, guys. The guidance in the governance amendment responding to a request for information is exactly the same information you need to respond to a milestone request for information. It's the same process. Something else that's really important, guys, just an understanding of your expectation of what you should receive from your research governance office. On submission of the additional information, you have fulfilled your responsibility. No further action is required. Your research office will contact you if they require any further details, but you're not going to get an acknowledgement of receipt of review. So again, that initial submission acknowledgement is your noting. If the research office has any further questions, they will ask, but if not, this is it. You won't be contacted again, and that's to reduce duplications or extra correspondence being sent from the system. What that does is it creates a more information required form. So this doesn't become editable, guys. It actually creates a form, and I'll show you just using this header. And as you can see, it's more information required, progress report. Again, your principal investigator, anyone with edit access or edit and submit access will be able to nice and easily click on that and be taken into this to provide a response. If you needed to add further documents, you'd use the add another button and add the document as appropriate. I'm not going to do that. I wasn't asked to add a document, but that's how you would do it. And you'd pop it in here. So this is my RGO query. Very straightforward. It's a big free text box, and we learn how to spell. Big free text box here. You can respond to any query as appropriate using this, this option here. Really simple. It's a form. You provide the correspondence, attach a document if required. You'd go ahead and hit save if you weren't the delegate or the PI. But if you are, you're just going to go ahead and hit submit. That's going to go back to your research office, and you fulfilled your responsibility at this point. Again, no further correspondence unless more information is required. And you can see it's then been submitted. So we know that this has then gone back to the research office. We don't have anything further to do from our point of view as a researcher. What I want to do next, guys, is I want to show you a certificate of currency. Again, falls under your milestone. So I'm just going to click on that milestone header just to navigate there, because I'm already in the project here, so I might as well utilize what I've got here. So certificate of currency, same option. We just click on the title of that milestone, and it's going to take us directly into the form. When there are multiple New South Wales or Tasmanian sites in REGIS, all of the site details, as you can see on the screen, I've got 2 authorized sites. They're pulled into this form. So the principal investigator and anyone with edit access as well as edit and submit access can complete the certificate of currency. People with edit access can submit the certificate of currency as well. The PI and the delegate can submit the certificate of currency. This milestone works a little bit different, guys. If more information is required, this milestone becomes editable. So you can go back in and complete the data. It's the only one for governance that will become editable. Once this has been approved, the approval email is sent to the principal investigator and admin contacts, as well as all of the related principal investigators and their admin contacts in the system. Everyone listed on this, plus their admin contacts, will receive notification once it's been approved. So only one site needs to review this, one research governance office. And once they do review it and provide that approval, it is reflected across the system there and everyone's included in that. So the system, like I said, automatically shares the certificate of currency with all related sites in the system, but they do not provide individual acknowledgement because the one approval is for all of the sites listed in REGIS. So I'll just go ahead and complete this data. Okay, I'm going to keep it really simple. I will be better actually. Let's say dated, what's today? We'll say 24th March 2023. This is the page, guys. It's very, very simple. All the sites that are authorized in the system are pulled here. Start and end date of your insurance. Certificate of currency is uploaded here. We hit next and we simply submit it. Your certificate of currency is a really nice and simple milestone to get through the system there. And I just want to see if I do have an approval email, and I'll show you an example of what it looks like. Okay, so this is an example of a certificate of currency being approved because this is reviewed by the Research Governance Office and it is approved and notification sent. What we can see here is the Dear PI. I don't have a lot of people on this study, so as you can see, no one else is really included, but if you had related PIs, they'd be all listed here and their admin contacts. So Dear PI, thank you for submitting this certificate of currency for this study. This has been reviewed by the single site it was submitted to, and it has been noted, which means it's been approved and the milestone is achieved. So when a milestone is achieved, that just means it is done, approved, no further action on your part. Each authorized site in REGIS has been notified. So that's that automation again, guys. It is automatically shared with each related site by the system. You don't then have to submit it to each site in the system. One site submits, all sites are notified. Please accept this notification on behalf of the New South Wales sites listed in the form. This is one we've got to update to include TAS sites in there as well. If any further information is required for any reason, they can contact the RGO. So really, really nice, straightforward there. Just understanding expectation-wise, none of the related PIs will then need to individually submit these milestones to their RGO. Something else to quickly note is the first site that is created in REGIS and then authorized, so it's been approved, will automatically have the certificate of currency created for it. Okay, that milestone is not created for every single site associated with that study in the system. Only the first site created and authorized will automatically have that milestone created. And that's a way for us to streamline this particular reporting.